Hey, what's up guys? If you're here, then you're probably wondering how to get Garuda, the new Warframe. So let me go ahead and show you. As you can see here, the Garuda part, first of all, you need to complete the Fortuna introduction quest. Once you complete it, you get the Garuda blueprint, and then the parts are gathered off of the first three bounties in the Fortuna bounties. So, for example, the chassis, each one of these components are going to take a little bit of fighting and a lot of mining. So, for the alloys, for example, the Travesite alloy, the Radiant Zodian, the Venerdo alloy, the Marquise Thist, and the Axidro alloy, and Star Amarest, these are all going to be gathered through mining, while the Toroids here are going to be gathered through fighting. So starting off with mining, here's the setup that I have. I like using Zephyr because it has a lot of mobility. Here are the mods that I have. I basically try to get as much duration and efficiency possible. Range and strength doesn't actually matter with this build. I put an EMP aura here just because it matched the polarity for a little bit more slots. Um, just pretty basic build, nothing too crazy here. And for all of these, for mining as well as fighting, make sure if you have a Smita Cavat, make sure you use it just for charm. You don't need to have anything else on there. Charm gives you it's not a high percentage, but it gives you a decent percent at getting double the drops. As always, if you're going to be farming anything and you have a little bit of platinum, what you can do is come here to let's see, boosters, get yourself a resource booster as well as a resource chance drop chance booster. So let's go down to Fortuna real quick so I can show you what to get for this. Alright, for mining, come here, speak with Smoke Finger. Make sure you have a Sunpoint Plasma Drill. You can use the ones from Cetus, but they're not going to give you the rare resources like the Amarast, the Thist, the Zodian. This one, I think this one you get it anyways. But they won't give you the rare ones. Now, the second thing for getting Garuda is that you're going to need to reach at least rank 4 with the Fortuna faction, so that you can get the Marquise Thist blueprint. So that's a thing, you're gonna have to do a lot of farming, and well, that's nothing new. So make sure you got the Sunpoint Plasma Drill. You're gonna need the this one here, this alloy here, this blue one, and then the Star Amarest, as well as these two. These are all the ones that you're gonna need. The first time Alright, so coming out into Orb Vallis, first thing you want to do is head over to the caves. Now, I did discover some of these caves. Once you discover them, they just show up on the map. But if you haven't discovered some, for example, in this area, there's bound to be some of them that I haven't discovered. So I'm going to make my way over here real quick with Zephyr, and they're going to pop up. Let's see. Okay, so Coolant Reservoir, we don't have anything here. It should be popping up. There we go. We got one popping up right here. So this is a cave that I haven't discovered. Once I discover it, this is just going to be permanently unlocked. Make sure you go ahead and equip your plasma drill. And if you can tell on the left corner of the map, the little map, it actually shows where the deposits are, so there's no need to go around driving yourself crazy trying to find, with the what's it called, with the meter range. You don't need to go crazy with it. You can just follow the mini map and pick them up. The mining rework makes this a whole lot easier. Just I try to stay between the brackets as much as possible, right in the middle. Usually get 5 stars on that. While you're in these caves, make sure you look around for these loot, what's it called, not the the loot notifications that there's loot around here. to pick up, because sometimes you can find the Toroid fragments that you need. You can find them in the caves, so you don't actually need to do a whole lot of farming. Let me see if I can find one now, so that I can show you what that kind of looks like. Okay, so here we go on a completely unrelated cave. This is actually the third cave that I look at. They're usually hiding around the corner, and they're going to be marked by the loot detector. So here we go, we have a Sola Toroid here. You can pick these up and save yourself a huge hassle of having to go around and killing bases. So if you did all the farming and you have no luck or don't want to look around for these inside of the caves, I'll show you right now the optimal setup so that you can actually pick them up. Let's cut to that. Alright, for farming the Toroids, you're going to want to pick up your Necros. That way you can desecrate all the enemies and get a bigger chance to get loot. Now, normally I'd recommend getting a, what's this guy called? Hydroid. With Pilfering Swarm, but in this case, Hydroid is not going to do enough damage to kill these enemies, as they don't scale very quickly, but at the levels that they scale, Hydroid is not going to do any damage. Now, here's the build that I have for Necros. I got this guy for farming. I want to be able to see where the enemies are, so enemy radar, both of these. And then I have a Desecrate Despoil build. So these guys are going to be consuming my health with health conservation and Shield of Shadows. Now, obviously, you want to get the Smita Kavat so you can have that charm. You know, it wouldn't hurt to give it some decent mods. That way it can stand on its own and you wouldn't have to be reviving him, and it'd actually be helping you a lot more. Make sure you have decent weapons, as you might be here for a while. Alright, now getting to where things drop. As you can see here, Warframe actually posted the location for everything. So Spaceport, which is going to be... Where's Spaceport? So Spaceport over here is going to drop the Vega, while Enrichment Labs are going to drop the Cauda, and Temple of Prophet is going to drop the Sola. So let's go over to Spaceport first. Mark it here, right click on the map if you didn't know, so that you can mark a waypoint over there. Okay, invalid. Here we go. Let's head over to Spaceport. Alright, now that we're here in Spaceport, make sure you make your way inside. I've done this a couple of times. I tested it, and fighting the enemies outside just didn't work for me. It might just be RNG not helping me out, but what I like to do is actually make my way inside. For example, coming to this left room and draw... Okay, there's no enemies here, so the enemies are going to be in the middle. So draw their attention so that they can go ahead and call for reinforcements. And once they call for the reinforcements, you wait for the 4 beacons to be active. Make sure they're active in a place where you're not going to be farming. For example, we can try to get them to activate here and then farm in a different room, like for example this one back here or this other one. That way, while you're fighting enemies, you don't accidentally kill the reinforcement beacons and you don't reset everything. So let's give it a little while so that we can get this. Let me see, it's 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Let's see how long it takes these guys to call for reinforcements. That's our first one. We got to get all 4. Alright, so here we go. We got the 4 stars and we got 2 beacons active, so that's good enough for me. Best place I found to wait this out is from this same room that we were. Jump up. Okay, there you go. Step down. Died. So from this very room, jump up. Stay up here. Jump around a little bit. And while they're down there, they're going to go ahead and activate those beacons. Now that our wanted level is all the way up, let's go ahead and hop into one of these rooms. And wait for them to come to us, basically. That way we're not breaking the beacons or anything like that. Because if we break them, then basically got to start all over again. Now for Necros, every now and then these guys are going to have nullifiers coming through, so make sure that you look at your desecrate every now and then and cast it. That way it's always going to be up. So that's basically a strategy for this over here, which I believe is a spaceport that we're in, maybe. Let's go over to the enrichment labs and I'll show you where to position yourself on that one. Oh, by the way, it only took 3 minutes to get the 4 stars over there on spaceport. So getting here to the enrichment labs, this is the one with the big orb guy on top. So once you get over here, make your way inside again. I haven't had any luck trying to farm this while being outside. So get in here. And the best spot that I found for this would be this very same room, which is the second room that you come into. Just hide here, make sure the enemies know you're here. Don't kill anyone unless there are these turrets, because they get very annoying. So wait it out over here. I usually just hide over here for a second. Wait it out here, and these guys will start calling for reinforcements. So once they call for it, you know the drill. Make sure that try to get them all to spawn in this same area, so inside of this room, because once they spawn here, you're going to be fighting over here. This is going to be your fighting location, and this is going to be the spawning location over here. So make sure you get the spawns over here very far away from you and fight all the way over there. Let's go ahead and wait for these to finally call for reinforcement, and I'll show you. Oh, look at that. We already got a Garuda Toroid here. So we got lucky off of that one. We didn't even have to do a whole bunch of farming for it. But I'll show you anyways how it's going to be once you get all the reinforcement beacons and the stars and you go back there. Alright, so here we have the 4 stars wanted level. It's for some reason these guys aren't calling for reinforcement beacons, but they are spawning fairly quickly. Now we have 1 reinforcement beacon up here, so let's make a way to this back room and just wait for them to start spawning over here, which should be, here we go. Alright, so we got some spawning down here, and there we go. We got them to spawn over here. Popping that Shield of Shadows buff here on Necros, and this is going to be your entire game. You're going to be farming in this exact location, the bridge, this bridge all the way back here, and this side all the way back here, and that's pretty much it. Now, as I was waiting, I actually managed to get a couple of these drops already. I got 2 Garuda Toroids, so if you get lucky, you can get these to drop fairly quickly. Now let's go ahead and make our way over to the Temple of Prophet, so I can show you the last location where you can farm these guys fairly easily. Alright, so reaching the Temple of Prophet, we're gonna go ahead. Wow, first time I've seen that guy. So reaching here, same thing. We're gonna make our way inside. Now this one, start the elevator from here. Once you're in this first room, this is the one that you want to go ahead and actually no, not the first room. You want to come back here, drop down, and make your way over to this back room over here. So this back room is where you want to go ahead and wait for reinforcement beacons, so they can go ahead and plant them here. Once they plant the reinforcement beacons here, over here in the middle, then you can go ahead and fight it out over here in the front or in the side areas, which are going to be these side areas over here. So just make sure that the beacons are spawning in a location where you're not fighting. That way you don't go ahead and break them down. And that was actually the last location that we needed to go to farm for those toroid fragments. My suggestion is not to sweat it out and farming these. You're probably going to get all of these materials while you're doing your bounties. I was about to say Cetus, but it's actually Fortuna bounties. as you're getting those Fortuna bounties, you're most likely to get all of these components. But if for some reason you're already rank 4 and you don't have Garuda or any of the materials needed to go ahead and start building her, then you can come down to these places and farm it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. P.S. I totally forgot, but if anyone is interested in my Skoliak build, which is what I use for most of this, here's what I'm actually using. So this is a little high maintenance and a little expensive, because you're gonna need a max blood rush, maiming strike, as well as a Skoliak ribbon. This one I actually bought a trash ribbon unrolled for, I believe it was 250, and managed to get on the 9th row range, attack speed, and melee damage with negative to Grenier. So Grenier is a bad negative since they're the strongest faction, but I've been re-rolling it and I haven't been able to get anything better. Now I have Prime Reach, which is necessary 100% for a Skoliak build. Burning Wasp is the what's it called, the stance that you're gonna need on this, because it gives you a little bit more range. And Pressure Point, you can substitute this with regular Pressure Point. Let me see where it's at. So you can change one for the other one. It's not that big of a difference. Now mandatory mods that you're gonna need is the Reach, Blood Rush, Maiming Strike, as well as the Skoliak ribbon, with at the very least you're gonna need range. Now this is a good positive because we got damage and attack speed, but the main stat that you're gonna need is the range on that. Now I have these for critical damage, Organ Shatter, as well as Gladiator Might, and Drifting Contact for a little bit of status, and mainly the combo duration. But yeah, thanks, and hopefully this was helpful. Alright, bye.